Shalom and good day all, this is Tequila29 back again for another Indie and Marvel review, and in this Indie and Marvel review I have the TMNT, the Untold Destiny of the Foot Clan, issue 1, and also Vengeance of the MoonKnight, issue 3. I'll now get things organised in relation to which one I'll be covering first. So we'll be starting off with the TMNT, the Untold Destiny of the Foot Clan, to which follows the character of Natsu. And in this, starting off with first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside of the story? Sure enough it does, to which we get to see Natsu sort of like travel to a particular type of tech lab, trying to regain something. But there are some other things that do take place, and we end up meeting some different characters along the way, as well as some characters you might know. So for the art, for the cover, I give a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the area of the internal art, where we have a look around the beginning of the story, around the middle of the story, and of course around the end of the story, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. And after we've had a look at the art, I'll give the art rating, then followed through with the story rating. So as the story begins, we're getting a little bit of a conversation with Natsu and also members of the Foot Clan. Whilst this is occurring, we end up like seeing some of the things that have taken place in regards to her past, and people that she's gone up against, and also people who have helped her along the way, considering she is basically the daughter of the villain. As we draw closer towards the end of, as we draw towards the middle of the story, we have Natsu back in hospital again. So when we see her at the beginning of the story, we see her in hospital, or sort of like in a hospital bed situation. We jump into the middle of the story, we see her once again in the hospital bed, and of course she's trying to recover, and of course she gets a bit of a visitor here by the name of Toshiro. And last but not least, we get to see that Toshiro might have his own goals and intentions to, I think what I might maybe do is maybe consider picking up the second issue, even though I thought I'd pick up the first issue just out of curiosity to see if I'd like it or to see if I'd follow it. And it does actually look quite interesting. So for the internal art, I gave the internal art a 7.5 out of 10, as I thought it was actually quite decent. Next is the area of the story. So first things first, do we get anything time-wise? We get a few minutes later, plus hours later being used to address the area of time. The locations that we get to see here, we get to see a Foot Clan headquarters, as well as a hospital. Moving into the cast of characters, we get to see Bebop and Rocksteady, of course Natsu. We do actually get to meet a different type of clan here, which is quite interesting. I think it was called the Dog Clan. We did end up seeing Casey Jones, and last but not least, the character of Toshiro. The overall rating for this story I give is a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into MoonKnight. So moving into MoonKnight, Vengeance of MoonKnight, issue 3. Starting off with first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form relate to anything that's happening inside of the cover? In some essence it does, but the overall rating I give it is a 7 out of 10, so it's a bit of an average. So next is the move into the area of the internal art, as we have a look once again around the beginning, middle, and of course the end, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So with this particular issue, it focuses on the character of the soldier, and of course we know his relation he's good friends with Reese, Tigra, and a couple of others that have been seen in the Jed McKay MoonKnight story. And of course, with this, they're trying to work out who or why the Black Spectre sort of like coming back for revenge, or also what's happening with MoonKnight. And they do call this MoonKnight that is coming out and attacking people sort of like a bit of a fake MoonKnight. So they're trying to uncover who that actually is. Is it Mark Spector or is it not? As we jump a little bit further into the story, of course, we do get a reunion with Tigress, along with some other characters. And last but not least, we do get to see that the characters will be dropping into Chinatown, and it looks like they might be dropping into Chinatown to maybe get a little bit of help. So for the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Next is the area of the story. So first things first, do we get anything time-wise? The things that we mainly have used are now and then. Next is the locations. Surprisingly, the Midnight Mission did not appear in this, which is a bit of a bummer. It would have been nice to see it back in this particular story once again, because it's an important part of MoonKnight and the lore around him. We have the bar with no name and also the location of Chinatown. The cast of characters consisting of Soldier, 8-Ball. We have the Black Spectre once again. MoonKnight, of what's happening with that character. Hunter's Moon, Reese, and last but not least, Tigra. For the overall story rating in this, I give it a 7 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.